want to thank especially all of our witnesses for being here. You've all traveled, some from great distance, to be here with us today, and I want to thank everybody who's in the room and those of you who are watching online. Let me just say briefly and simply, here is why we're here today. Since 2020, prices for fire trucks have doubled, and delivery times have in some cases quadrupled. My staff has spoken with numerous fire chiefs from across the country. I had the privilege to chat with fire chiefs from my home state of Missouri just in the last few weeks, and what they tell me is the same thing. Everybody that we talk to, the same thing, that they cannot get the fire trucks that they desperately need, they cannot get the fire equipment that they desperately need, that prices are higher than they've ever been, and waiting times have never exceeded what we're seeing currently. Now, most of my state is rural and protected by small and, frankly, less well-funded fire departments than some of the big ones in urban centers. But the truth is, it doesn't matter, urban or rural, everyone is facing this similar set of challenges. Fire departments today are lucky if they can get their hands on engines that are 20 or 30 years old. Some fire stations don't even have a single functional fire truck and are forced to borrow trucks from neighboring departments. This increases response times, which can mean, of course, lives lost, property damage. And if you want a real-world example, you don't have to look any further than the wildfires that ravaged California and Los Angeles in January of this year. More than half, get this, more than half of LA's fire department, their aging engines were out of commission. Half of them in the midst of this crisis, preventing available firemen from getting to the front lines. And there are similar stories from almost every municipality across the country, whether it's in Texas, Houston, whether it's Atlanta, Chicago, Seattle. So what's going on here? That's really the subject of today's hearing. Why is this happening? I'll give you just one little clue. 2 words: Wall Street. In 2008, a private equity entity bought up a fire truck manufacturer, and over the next decade rolled up 6 or 7 more fire truck brands in what today is known as the REV Group. As a result, some 70 to 80% of the market is controlled by 3 or 4 companies. Think about that. 70 to 80% of the market controlled by 3 or 4 companies. Since the REV Group bought its last fire truck company back in 2020, the largest manufacturers have seen their order backlogs more than quadruple. That means that fire departments are forced to wait years for fire trucks. We're not talking about a few weeks here. We're not talking about a few months. Before, a new fire engine order took between 6 months and a year standard to get delivery. Today, those orders take 2 years on the low end, 4 years on the high end. Other companies are doing the same. We are seeing a constant pattern here of more and more backlogs, higher and higher wait times, and yet more and more profits by the companies. Where is the money going to exactly? That's a question I'd like to see if we can't answer today.